We should be live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, we are live. Hello everyone, welcome to today's stream, where I'm going to try to remake an effect I tried making a little while ago, the kind of cable arm effect. But this time I'm going to do it in a better way. So, here's the plan. So, let me take out all the modifiers on this arm. I separated an arm segment from the human form over there. So, I'm going to use a geometry node to take a ton of lines of my creation. So in this case, I'm going to have a line, maybe subdivide it once, just move it generally inside of the object right here. Then I'm going to make it so that this curve, or I will translate it into a curve, will be subdivided and then moved into place, but it also will try to fill the volume of this character. Now, I'm not sure how well this will work, but it is worth a shot. Okay, so let me label this sim. So the idea, once again, is to make it so that this curve will stay inside this volume, but I'm going to have many curves, so that the arm will turn into like a bunch of cables, which hopefully can look really, really cool. They hopefully will not intersect. We'll see how well that goes. But let's do a simulation zone, because I'm not entirely sure how this will work, but all I can do is try. So I first want to convert this to a curve, mesh to curve, let's put that in there, turn on grid snapping. Then I want to have, let's see, I want to resample this to a certain length. So I'll say 0.05 should be good enough. So, I need to think a little bit more about this. I want to duplicate the amount of curves in here, just for testing at the beginning. I'll say 30 curves, and I need to make it so that they're not all exactly on top of each other. So I'll just vector math multiply. I could have just used a multiply, but vector math allows me to art direct this a little bit more. Just so that we have... There we go. A bunch of curves stacked up like that. So first order of business is to try to make it so that there's a minimum distance between all of them. So, oh wait, I need to change the stream title. There we go. Alright. So now, I need to use a set position node, and then make some math to make it so that the points will try to go away from each other. So we get the, let's see, we need the index of nearest node. Index of nearest. And then we use an evaluate at index, like this, set this to vector. Now if we do this, subtract. Now give us the distance from each point to its neighbors. And then hopefully I could get the length and then art direct, or not art direct, but determine how much that vector away from the points happens. So this first option will be disastrous. Interesting. Very interesting. Why? Wait a second, is this... Okay, no, it is working. Alright. Maybe it just needs... So it is kind of working. I just need to make it so that it keeps moving. Do I need to make some velocity for this? I'm a little hesitant to do that, but it seems like that may actually be necessary. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Yikes. Let's make this negative 0.1. Ah, okay. Or no, 0.1. So, first order of business, I need to reduce the, the general offset. So here we can see that they are expanding. Kind of. So the cables are trying to move around. I just need to make it so that the cables will stay, one, inside of this character's arm. I also need to make a thing where they try to stay, like, aligned. So lots of fun stuff that I will have to try to fix. Yes. So we got the stay away from each other thing going correctly. So now I think I need to... I'm very hesitant to make this a velocity thing, but I think we need to. Because this is just for the distribution. But I think some velocity will just help smoothen out the effect. There we go, so the classic equations. I'm going to scale the previous velocity like by 0.75, just so that it's severely dampened. Then we need to add in our little self-collision. Let me label that as such. This will be self-collision, self-collisions. There we go, plug that into here, and then just have the velocity apply to the position. Just like that. So now we should see that there's a little, yeah, some velocity happening. Which... that's leading to some very unintended but interesting effects. Let me turn up the dampening by even more. So again, I'm going to make it so that all of these have to stay inside the arm. But we're getting, you know, the minimum distance and all that happening. Maybe I need to make it so that they stay, like, attracted to each other, but just not too... Whoa, that was cool. Here, let me... So this makes it so that they have to stay within a range and they can't go flying off. Not too bad. They'll stay a certain distance away from each other. And let me set this to 30 frames per second so that the simulation can keep going. I probably should have made it so that the offset here is random. That actually may be a good idea. Just so that we get a better distribution again. Put that into the ID, set this to vector. Oh, thank you, Luz! Wow, I think that may be the first time I've gotten a, I think they're super chats? But thank you very much. Wow. Ah, there we go. That's more of what I was going for, the even cable distribution. Now I just need to make the surface collider. Thank you very much, Luz. Thank you. Yeah, it's the first time that's happened, and I'm not entirely sure how to react, but thank you very much. So this is old velocity. There we go. Oh, so I should also mention this effect is inspired by Nebula's kind of robo arm in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I saw the effect and I really liked it, but I still need to actually watch the movie. I'll do that sometime this week. I think I'm emotionally prepared for it now, so I think I can go see it. This is apply velocity. There we go. So now for the collider. That is the wrong body right there, so I need to pull in the arm, set this to relative, and now this will be an interesting equation. Let's see. So, I need to make it so that it stays inside the volume, but it's not always attracted to, you know, surface. I want it so that it has to go inside of it. So that'll be very, very interesting. So if I get the position and then the... So I may need to sample two things, the normal and then the position, but let's just get the position for now. So to get the vector to the surface, I need to, whoops, do this equation to change it from just a location to a vector, kind of like a velocity. And then I need to scale this appropriately. Let's just add this. There we go. Ah, okay. So it is working. It is, you know, staying on the surface, which I don't want. But we're getting it kind of there. Kind of. Okay, no, that's too far. So keeping at 0.1 is good. So we are kind of getting there. I just need to make it so that it will not do the attraction force if it's on the inside of the mesh. So to do that, it is a bit more complicated. I need to use a sample nearest node. No, sample nearest surface. There we go. Set this to vector. And now we need that value to be the normal of the object. So then, once we have the normal, we need to use a dot product for these two, and this will basically give us a value if it's inside or outside the mesh. So if we then scale this by our little value, this is doing the exact opposite, but that does mean it's kind of working. There we go. We can see that they're filling in the volume, and I should probably change this to like a wireframe. Yeah, how do I? Because a wireframe, I fear, yeah, it's way too bounds. I know, that's good. So here we can see that it's trying to form correctly. But there we go. Very, very nice. So I need to label this so that I know what I did a while ago. So this is inside mesh check. Or I should label this is inside mesh. Or no, I'll just label it inside mesh. This will be vector to mesh. Vector to mesh, and then inside mesh, making it so essentially it'll stay inside and not go outside. So, again, this is working fairly well. I'm going to make it so that we have even more resolution to work with. So now, I think the last thing that we really need is something to smoothen out the curves, so that, you know, stuff like that doesn't happen. But all in all, this isn't bad. I'm very surprised. Like, the fingers are not, you know, good enough. So I'll have to go and edit that. Change that to 0.05. Just to put a little bit less pressure. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. So if there's not enough internal pressure, it won't properly fill out the volume. I can crank that up so that it cannot go outside of it, but it is filling the volume, which is good. So the smoothing. Okay, that shouldn't be too difficult to do. It may need, you know, a little bit of finagling, but we'll get that. Okay, so to do that, I'll just have it as the last add over here. Kind of like it doesn't really matter what order these happen because these are all add nodes. So let's use the position, and then we just need to subtract it from the blurred position. So just doing that and that. One thing I fear that I'll have to do is I'll potentially have to pin the endpoints of the curves, or else they will do that. That's what I was afraid of. Yes, so it does smoothen them just a little too well. So what if I made it so that this will switch between it being true and not by the endpoints? Or actually, if it's the endpoint, nothing will happen. That actually works! Oh, this is looking very good. We just have curves filling the volume, and they're trying to find the best... Yeah, that's actually looking good! I'm happy! Yay! Oh, that is phenomenal. Okay. So some nice space filling curves. Just like that. So now I just need to make it so that on the start curves, those go for every single finger, and then maybe reduce the amount of total curves. Okay. So I was able to do what I wanted to do. Basically make a ton of curves that go through an object and are evenly spaced. So now I just need to make it so that the guide ones are where they should be, one for each finger. Not too bad. Ah, very nice. Very, very nice. It's nice when a project just comes together in under 14 minutes. Or 15 minutes. Not bad. Okay, let me re-enable the textured version of this. So we can see, yeah, there is that, you know, few little problems. But that should be very easily fixed by just giving each one its own designated area. Let's just move that. Wait a second, where are all of them? Copy. Copy again. Move it out there. Maybe I should have a little bit of just, like, wobbling force, just to keep it... there. There we go. Oh, that is beautiful. Now, the resistance force is a bit high, so let me reduce the radius. Okay, so up there it's doing just fine. Well, I shouldn't say just fine, it is having a little bit of problems. Oh, yeah, wow. Up there it's actually not having the best time. So, I should probably make it so that there is a little bit of force, making it so that it has to go towards that. So let me use a map range node to set this to like 1 or like -0.1. Uh-oh. Well, that kind of messed things up. Let's see, let's set this to 1 and -0.1. Oh god. Uh-huh. So if it's inside, like, okay, I am very confused as to why that's happening. So, yeah, 1, 1, or... Okay, maybe it just needs to be 0.1 to work. I'll just put this up by a bit. And rebake. Space filling is not doing as much space filling as I want it to. So let me bump this up. And it looks like I'll have to make the space filling a bit more potent. I just need to make sure that they don't... Okay, they're staying where they should. Except, you know, some of it's not doing too hot. I think it's because I still... Yeah, let's set this to like 15. Or no, let's do 5. Or 4 in this case. So we just have a few. So that's okay. Interesting. And I should probably normalize this output value so that it doesn't, like, get exponentially worse. Yeah, I just wish it would fill out that part. Uh-oh. A little worried what's happening up there. But down here it seems to be okay. Okay, so that's good. I'm just going to put in more of them. So about 10 per finger. And that one seems to have escaped. So the question is, how on earth did it escape? I think it's because there's an N-gon. Yeah, that's probably why. Let me triangulate that. I'll probably send it back. Nope, it actually is allowing for even more to escape. That's not the worst thing in the world. The point is, now I have the cable arm working as intended. And maybe, just maybe, I'll shrink, like, the max volume of this hand. Just so that, you know, it doesn't make it look pudgy. So let me unhide this and just... displace. Set this to like 0.01, but accept negative. And maybe a bit less. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at it again. All the things have to stay there, and oh yeah, that actually seems okay. I just need to figure out why on God's green earth that is occurring. So it's the pinch point there. What I'm surprised at is that, do I need to evaluate on the point domain? The normal. Oh, that actually fixes it. Wow. Okay. No other errors? I thought that the accurate normal would be better. But no, okay, that fixes it. There we go. And maybe I need to turn up the, you know, the random... Actually, no, we don't need that. Okay. So do we need more resolution? Set this to like 0.125. I think that's okay. Then just turn up the smoothing by even more. Turning up the smoothing seems to have adverse effects. So if I turn that off, that also gives adverse effects. So we do need it a good amount. But just, let's see. Let's bump up the, like, interaction radius. So, oh god, why is it turning back? That should not be happening. And no, that's not what is requested. Yikes. Yeah, okay, so... Looks like we're getting new errors due to the normal being weird. Oh, wait. We need a normal, just... Do I need to make this account for the new velocity? Will that fix the error here? So I need the position, but I just need to add in the current velocity that's in there. Let's give that a try. I'm not sure if that will work, but... what the heck. Let's give it a go. So let's plug that both into there and there. Does that fix it? No. Wow, that is... Like, those should not be moving like that. And I'm very confused as to why. Is that because of the velocity? Okay, let me just turn off the old velocity. Just so that they will move, and that is it. So now it's extremely slow. Wonderful. Resimulate. How do I just keep that from happening? Okay, let's take a... Oh, maybe that's why. Here, let me move all of these to inside the mesh instead of outside how it previously was. Let's put that 0.5. But they still do that. Why? I mean, I guess it could look cool that the cable arm kind of spirals and makes interesting patterns like that, but in my mind, it's a little bit of a bummer. But, actually, wait. I now want to just have that object. So let me bring the simulation into here, convert it to a mesh so that we can save it. So here we should be able to see and light. So now we should have, boom, a version of the mesh that is not... Oh wait, that's the simulated one. Here's the non-simulated one. Okay. So now I could apply like my curve roller to this, and it'll work just fine. Hey, Cartesian Caramel, I'm the first to say thanks for taking the time to explain things, and secondly, can you briefly touch on transferring UVs with geonodes into shader nodes with the named attribute? Yeah, well, UVs. So with UVs in geometry nodes, well, the thing is, if you want UV maps to appear with the named attribute node, you just need to put in the name. You don't need geometry nodes to do that. But if you want to say, let me render this and have the shaders load up. If you say want to edit the UV maps and make them appear with geometry nodes, you need to just store it with the right data. So if we look in the attributes panel, we can see that UV map is a face corner 2D vector. So we just need to store the named attribute, 2D vector, or it could be vector, either one's fine, but also on the face corner. So if we pull in the UV map, and then we add to it, and then we set the UV map, we can see that it is already working. And that potentially, if I am correct in my assessment, if we get the UV map, where's the UV map? There we go. You'll be able to see that the edited one still survives because we basically replaced it with the same data. So I hope that explains it. UV maps and geometry nodes still don't mix all too well, but I hope that was enough to explain that. Oh wait, for this one I still need to turn on the smoothing even more, so let me reapply the curve growth effect, turn up the smoothing. Like I don't get why that it folds into itself. Just something I really need to fix. Let me set this to like 0.25. Like, that definitely should not be happening. What if is there a way to make it so that it doesn't want to bend? I'm not sure. Let's set this to like 0.05 and whoops, and 0.05. Oops, let's not do that. Did that fix it? Those ones are starting to drift, but is it to the degree that they were before? No, oh, that's good. So I had an attraction force to keep them close to each other. It turns out that wasn't the best idea. Well, that leads to a much cleaner simulation. Except those ones, you know, they need a little convincing to spread themselves apart. Okay. Well, let's unhide this. Yeah, they need just a little bit more convincing to move. Let me turn up the kept velocity. Oh wow. Oh, that is... Ah. Okay, well, that's a little bit too much kept velocity. Okay. Maybe I should make it so that they have a fixed point count so that they can't spiral out of control. Oh, God. So I made it so that I would keep resampling every single frame, which maybe I should do that before the simulation occurs. So let me set this to 1000 beforehand. Ah, as we can see, that's just a bit much. 100. There we go, that's not bad. So, lessons learned, keep the kept velocity down by a bit, just so that they don't, you know, freak out too much. But these ones do not wish to move. Because they seem to be all in, yeah, they are all in the same spot. Oh, that's because of the, yeah, that. I need to just make this the spline ID. So we need to evaluate on the spline domain. There we go. And now we can do a few more fixer-upper things, and it should be good. Still need to make it so that it'll be attracted to the mesh surface, just not a ton. So here, there we go. Now it's attracted to the mesh surface, just not a big amount, but it still looks like some are twisting in on each other, which again is not good. Like, I could just pin the ends of the curves, but I kind of don't want to do that. Let's also see what happens if I change the amount to like 40. That actually helps. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll just do that, and then just delete the... Yeah, wow, that actually works extremely well. Except for right over there. I think that's because I need to spawn them in the middle. Yeah, that's the issue. So maybe I'll subdivide there and make it so that these ones spawn in, you know, right in the middle of the elbow. Uh-oh. Looks like up there is having some issues. Good enough for me? There we go. Now it is working. We get tons of lines distributed, not just on the surface, but in the volume. So that is what I was going for. This is a working version. Let me set this to GeoNodes 01. Wait a second. Geometry nodes. GeoNodes 01. Yeah, that's good. Let's just apply that so that we get the kind of cooked mesh over here. So now I could use... I just need to bring over my curve rolling effect. So let me go and get that really quick. I go and close out of the arm 1. There we go. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? So I need to go in my weekly project and get the curve rolling, shortest path, face rolling. No, the curve rolling tutorial. Let me just go and drag that into here. I made a full-on tutorial about that. It's my latest video, as you can see. The curves, they roll. No simulations required as well, which is pretty nice. So now that I have this, I will simply go and copy that over to here. But I'll need to convert this back into curves because they're meshes at the time being, just so that they can be applied to the object. Mesh to curve. Then we just need to use a set position node. Plug this node setup into there. Now we should see that it works. Except, oh, the normal. Okay, I need to set this to be the curve normal. Or I need to make it so that it inherits. It actually stores the curve normal on itself. Okay. Okay, so it is working, just in the wrong way. I need it so that it goes the other kind of direction. So for that, I can just reverse the curve. Reverse curve. Is the music too loud, by the way? Please tell me if it is. So now if I do that, the arm can go like that, or it could just be any kind of shape like that, and then I'll go and instance some other things on it. So another little tweak that I need to do is that I need to actually store the normal data. So unfortunately, that's going to make the setup a little more annoying to look at. So I'm just going to move this back, all the rest of this down, because I need to store... Do I need to store? Yeah, I do. Vector, I'm just going to store this normal data up in here so that it can then be referenced after. So let's do normal so that I can reference it in this mesh, so that when they move out of the way, they move according to what would be the object's normal, like if there was a mesh surrounding all of it. It's making this setup a little less clean, but actually I can separate this part and then reference that named whoa, not like that. Then reference the named attribute here. So I can store it and then use it in here. So let me just do that. It's a little annoying, but that's what we have to do in order to keep the data in there. And then I can just add in the collider into here. Again, making it messier, more cluttered, but it's necessary. Common thing with geometry nodes. Oh, this is so messy. But there's really no other way to do it. Let me go and... yeah, I could just put that in there. So it's not that bad. It's pretty bad. I could just do that. And then I could still... if I just separate the objects, I could just... yeah, have 2 of these. So one down here and one up there. How do you do that sort of selection? You press C, and then you just do that. It almost becomes a habit, so I kind of forget I'm doing it half the time. Okay, so now that that's stored over there, I can just put the other thing there. Okay, so it's a bit bigger, a bit more cluttered. Whoops. But honestly, not as bad as I thought it would be. So I need to label this sim. Yeah, I need to... let's move this into a sim collection and change the collection to green, just to differentiate it from everything else. So here I'm going to collapse the evaluate on domain just so that it takes up less space. That basically changes the normals from flat to smooth, like you do normally. And that does not need to be animated. So let me clear the keyframes. That's just so that I can have the curve rolling in the scene. Alright, there we go. So now let's let that cook for a little bit, just to move the curves where they should be. I actually just thought of something that... no, that's unnecessary. But that's not bad. So we got all the curves here, and I could just delete them if there's too many. So let me... yep, there's the sim. Now I just need to have this other one. This is... reference. Oop. Reference sim. There we go. So this just basically references the sim, converts it to a mesh, so that I can apply it and move it while keeping it intact. So here, this will be roll. So I can delete that, reapply the roll onto here, but then just have the normal that is now stored on that geometry and put it in there. Actually doesn't change it too much. I think it might be inverted, so I'll need to change that up by a little bit. Okay, let's put that here, and let's just make it negative. Okay, so there we go. Okay. So let me go and just make it so that it'll roll up like that. So there we go. So I don't want it to curl like that. I want it to be more like that. So it'll go up like that. Okay. And then last thing I want to do is make it so that they'll scale down as they go along. So let's map range. Actually, I just want that on the add. That's our little gradient for the whole effect. So actually, maybe I should store that so that I can reference it in the shader. That may be good. But this will basically make it so that the curves will scale down as the animation goes along, so that happens. So again, they're curling way too much. I want the curl to be less. I want the kind of fall off for that to be more. So like that, and let's bring this down a bit so it'll be like, boom. Or do I even want that? Okay, let's make this a little bit better. So I'm going to delete a random amount of the splines. Let's put this on the spline domain, set this to random value, just so that we can select how many splines we want kept in this. So here, let's take a look. Let's move it forward. Looks like the smoothing did not quite do its job, but we can fix that later. Okay, so with all this set up, yeah, okay, it looks like we definitely need to put that gradient in check. So let's store the named attribute. This will be the gradient. We want that to be unclamped. The add needs to be unclamped, so this is gradient. Then we modify that gradient after the fact. Let's see, we're at 40 minutes. Not too bad for a very, very experimental effect. have this be gradient so that we can just plug it into here and delete that so that we can reference it from one point and not have to worry about spaghettiing the entire thing. Control J. And actually I could just use a map range over here as well. That would simplify things by a considerable amount. There we go. Yeah, that makes it quite a bit better. So the amount of rotation, want it to be about that much. Let's set that to be... Here, let's move the gradient forward. Uh-oh. Ah, no, that needs to be like that. So nothing or something. Dun dun. So like that, but that fall off needs to be a lot more harsh. Looks like an error has occurred. What's the matter? Wait, what? Okay, I won't question that. If it works, it works. But then why does... Okay. It can't decide what it wants. So it's like that or like that. Let me turn off the scaling for now, just so that I can focus on this. There we go. So it could be like that or like that, but again, I don't want that kind of rolling effect because that kind of looks extremely weird. Yeah, it does look extremely weird. Wow. Or that could look extremely cool. I just need to set it up properly. Like the effect kind of... I don't know. What if I were to blur the normal? That would probably help a significant amount. Oh, that's better. Even though it looks like I have to blur it by an extreme degree to make it function. Yikes. Okay, maybe I should move on to the... Oh, wait. Let me make it so that I can only iterate 100 times max. That is a lot. But that's not too bad. Now I just need to make the kind of chain thing for the robo arm. What material will go with it? Well, according in the movie, Nebula's arm has like a chain, like, not a chain, well, yeah, kind of like a chain. How do I best describe it? It's like, stacked, not triangles. It's difficult. Let me explain visually. So, it looks like this. Looks like this, just repeated a ton. So if I had an array modifier, like this, it would look like that over the entire thing. Because most of the time, the arm is just a prosthetic, just a glove that goes over the entire arm. But in the VFX shots, the arm kind of shapeshifts, which is when it turns into this monstrosity. So that is very interesting how that happens. Very, very interesting. Okay, so let me go, since we have the curve rolling intact, let me go and do the mesh part of it. So for this, I'll change the curve to points, because I do not want, no, curve to points. Because I do not want to have to deal with like the tangent and normal stuff, so let's just make this evaluated. And now I need to instance something on these points. And let's make that, what should it be? Primitive, let's just go with an icosphere for the time being. Make sure to plug in the rotations. Just like that. Let's take... Oh my god. Actually, that's not too bad. But we can see the effects that I'm going for. Doesn't look half... Okay, it looks half bad right now, but that's because I need to upgrade it. Make it better. And then, you know, put in a custom mesh so that it doesn't just look like a ton of balls. Okay, let me move the thing here. So it's like that, and then it shows up and looks like an arm. So it's like that, then do. And then, in theory, I could animate this. Like, I would just need to rig up the mesh that's beforehand, and then boom, it works. So let me go and add in the mesh object for this. I'm going to make it kind of like a... not quite a diamond, but you'll see. So like this. Like that, except a lot skinnier. So like that. And like that, bring it down. I think that's good. Let's bring it over, pull it in. This is... Let me move these into a mesh. Or, no, yeah, because it's not part of the sim. The sim was just to get the curve layout, and now we're in the mesh stage. The VizDev stage. So let's reduce their amount of screen presence. And let's, again, scale down this by a considerable amount. Make sure I recenter it. There we go. So that's not looking too bad. 2. Looks like it needs a little bit of work. And then maybe a random rotation for each one in there. So let's take a look at this. Let's go and change it from that to a metallic. That's not too bad. It needs to be darker. And let's throw on a bevel as well. There we go. Like, I will need to change the scale as it gets towards the ends. That shouldn't be too bad. Auto smooth. Okay, now let's just... I'll need to store the spline parameter right beforehand, because we can't access it directly because I converted it into points. I'll just have this as G1 because it's a gradient, but not, you know, the main gradient. Here we go, and let's map range for the scale. Let's make it so that's 0.2 or a lot less. It is there, right? Yeah, it is there, so why is it not up here? Oh, wait. G1, there we go. So I just need to flip this around. So it's like that or like that, just to make it skinnier towards the ends of the fingers. They're still not as tightly packed, but fortunately for us, I can just turn up the amounts. And I think it's lagging now. Yes, it is. There are many, many instances on screen at the moment. So it's good that I made it so that all of them would pack in like that. So now I could... Let's try the curve rolling. So let's move the gradient. Uh-huh. Let me also turn off viewport denoising. So I still need to... like, okay, so there's a few issues. So the one, it doesn't look like they're rolling particularly correctly. No, they are. Why, but what I'm wondering is why are they kind of freaking out like that? Maybe I'll need to... Oh, wow. Wait, if I do that correctly, I can make like the arm gun Nebula has. So like that, that's how it looks like normally, which actually, that looks pretty cool. So without any smoothing on the normal that it inherits from the object. It's actually not too bad. But what if I okay. So this may be a little bit crazy. But I could try making a new rolling method. Where it'll keep the normal from one point on the curve. That is something that I could, in theory, do. So that when it... Yeah, okay. So it would be like that. But let me also implement the scaling again. See if that will help my thing. So that happens. So it folds up like that. Like, I don't like the curling. Like, okay. That's it normally, without the scaling. Like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But it's just when it keeps going, it, I do not like. Like, that is fine. What if I just put the limiter? Wait, is that because I did the reverse curve? Oh no, I did the... Oh, that's why everything was messed up. Yikes. That's actually pretty bad. That's why everything felt just wrong. So now, it should probably be correct. Okay, so the curling will still be an issue, it just means it'll be less of an issue. There we go. So again, let's go and reduce the curl amount. So that goes from... Okay, maybe not quite like that. 0.2. That is quite the quite the arm right there. So... Interesting. Very, very interesting. It just turns into that. What if I multiplied it by the curve parameter? What would happen then? I'm just curious. It's like that, then that, that. How come it's just not looking good? Normal. Like, I'm using the... Like, that does look better. Even though that's the normal from... That's auto-generated, not the one from the mesh itself. That one looks better. And there's the smoothed version, which isn't bad, but I don't think we need it. So I may need to go and pull another curve rolling method. Curve roll. Curve roll v3. Okay, now this one is an actual node group. But I think with my newfound knowledge... Oh my gosh. I think I may need to upgrade this. So I'll bring it into the scene. Copy objects. Let's go and paste this in here. So here I have a curve rolling effect. Whereas we can see, that happens. Now, the math for this is just a wee bit complicated, as you can see. Just a little bit. Yeah. Yep. Kind of understand what's happening, but still... annoying. Spline length and all that. This probably could be optimized with... Yeah, no, I have no idea what's going on with that. Let me close out the old one. Close out Oh wait, which scene am I in? Okay, I was worried that I closed out the wrong one. Okay, so let's just pull that curve rolling one into this and see if that works out better. Okay, let's do group. Where's curve roll? V3. Okay, let's give that a go and see how that looks. Aha. Intriguing. Don't know why it's freaking out like that. Radius. I mean, it does look better than the alternative. I just need to figure out why it's freaking out quite so much. That's factor. There's the normal data, but what if I made that data the normal? I don't know why it's not autofilling there. Vector. If I made it so that used this, the value, instead of the normal. Does that look better? It does not. Tangent. I think that's because it's rotated by 90 degrees. So there's that value. Oh, it looks like I may need to use that cross-producted value. Nope. Here, let me take a look at this. Flip these two around. Again, deep math here. Let's go and take a look at this. Ah, lovely. So let me go and undo that. Let's see here. Yep. I know what some of these are doing. It's using that, and then it does that. But it is using the length. Use length. Like, okay, what is the big holdup here? Like, if we just reference the normal, as we should, it looks... It does that, which actually seems to be alright. Not too bad. Like, it does collide, but I want it to, like, open like an onion. Almost. So I want to reference the normal that I got from the object. But the problem is, that normal might be bad. Because when I put the normal into this plug, it just rotates everything wrongly. So the question is why? Why does it do that? Seems to be rotated almost 90 degrees perfectly from where it should be. Maybe it's just because it's referencing the normal from a different object. So when it tries to use it, it's having a really difficult time with it. So it's referencing, like... Yeah, it's referencing that. Oh, well. Let's just worry about that at a different time. So that's one way of doing this. I could also use a trim curve node. Let's try that and see how that works. Trim. Oop. Trim curve. Here, trim curve, and then I'll just resample it. Resample to the amount of points we had previously. Uh-oh. Ah, there we go. I think it was 100, was it? So we can do that. So that equals that. But I can go and make it so that this is a random value that gets added to. So this could look really, really cool, depending on how I slice it. So here, it's like do-do-do. I think that's a little bit too far. So let's go and bring it back. So there we go, do-do-do. But that's just... Yeah, no, we don't need that. So I think the previous method here is one of the best, even though it's having many, many issues with the with the roll. What if I just turned off the clamp? And now I moved that gradient. Ah. What if I set a minimum? Or maximum 0, so I can't go into the negatives. Take a look. Ah, no, I need to set a minimum. There we go. That means it will always go into the negatives, technically. So there's that, and that is certainly an interesting effect. Let me take out the multiply. I'm trying out many things, folks. I apologize if, I'm getting a little carried away here. So let's just keep that at a very tiny amount. Like there, that's like the blaster gun that Nebula has. So that is an option, so just go zoom, and then here comes the sun. But when it goes past that, it does not look good at all. Like, look at that. Just like, oh, tons of cables turning into that. And you can even see the elbow in there still. So I am getting what I wanted. It's just, needing a little more love and care than I thought it would. So let me go and rotate Euler. Only on the z-axis because I want to give each of these a unique rotation to see if that makes it look cooler. That just makes it look messier. Not sure if I'm a fan of that. Yeah, messy is not what I'm going for. I want it to look cooler. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift some of these up so it makes a more interesting shape. Oh, that is better. Whoa. So here's it normally. There's it like that. And wait, that is looking a lot closer to Nebula's arm. Huh. Maybe I just cracked the code on what they used for it. Okay. Because it's making that kind of triangle pattern I was mentioning earlier. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. What else? I just realized I might have been able to make a better... No. Well, there may be an easier way of making the curves inside of the mesh. And have them be, like, there. By, like, spawning them in the middle, and then choosing a random location to interpolate to, and then choosing a random value on how much to interpolate it to there. If any of that makes sense. But we have it, and now we're doing the fun part. And now I just need to rig it. I need to reapply it to the armature that I originally had it at. Which unfortunately, the weights do not transfer over, which is a shame. But what more could you expect of this? Let me plug that back in. Let me go and move this. So that... Not sure if I'm a big fan of that look. Because the curling is not quite as atrocious, but it's still bad. Actually, what if I just made the rotation random? Would that actually look cool? Let's have this be a random value. Oh wait, but it needs to be accumulated. So there's the random value. So that's one of the problems with the random values, because there's so many, it's hard for them to properly do their thing. But what if I had it be like a noise texture? So let's try that. Noise. Let's just use a map range out of that. Let's go right here. Oh, and we're at 1 hour, so I should probably stop streaming soon. So let me just go and turn up the scale. Wow, it is not wanting to... Wow. So without the accumulation of the rotation values... There we go. Again, cool, but not what I want. Let's make this so that it uses the parameter. So these will all have the same value, unfortunately, with different normals. If I add to that, like we have this kind of weird effect going for it, which doesn't look the worst. Let's try also multiplying it. So I'll figure out the, you know, the ins and outs of this. Making it better over time. Here's that, so I could have it so that that happens. Let's also turn up the rotation amount. That's a little bit of a issue. So I do need the accumulation. But this will be way too much when I plug it in, because it adds it up for every single vertex in the chain. So let's go and set this to a little value, and then another value. Let's take a look at the output. Who's scaled down for it to contribute? 1, 2, let's see. Like, you see that? Not great. Let me do a minimum so that I can't go too far. I mean, that's not that bad. And I also need to add in a random index, and then evaluate at index. Oh no, on domain. Evaluate on domain. Let's set this to spline to get a rand. Even though, okay, just to lessen the amount of nodes, I can just do that. And it's good enough. Here we go. Do. So now if I do this, we can see that there's a bit more of that happening. So let me turn that up by a bit more. Set this to around 2. Kind of wanted to see them rest a bit more, but as we can see, that is not occurring. Yeah, not quite what I'm going for. Wanted to see like a rest area where it would be normal for a bit. Actually looks kind of cool. Seeing like the hand trying to form, but all the others constantly going off of it. It's okay. Let's get off that tangent for the time being. I'll figure that out. Plug that into there. And then undo that amount of that happening. So here, let's affect the shader, because we got the, like, oh, plasma cannon ready to go. Let's just fix that up real quick. Let's put the accumulate field back where it's supposed to be. 0.05, there we go. So I'll separate into the plasma cannon. Let me go into the shader editor because we can pull the gradient value, G1 as I labeled it, onto here. Set this to the instancer. Don't forget that. So now we can see, there we go. We can put that into an emissive part. So let me use a power node to make the fall off a little bit more, a little less immediate. And then turn that up. So instead of white, we want orange. There we go. Let me set this to ease also, so that we have that going for it. So I think it needs a little more, you know, just a little bit more orange or a bit more red. And I need to get a random value for every single curve because that's a little too even for my tastes. Okay. I wish I could get a value for like how close it is to like the surface of the mesh. But unfortunately, that seems to be out of my control for the time being. But it is nice seeing, like, all the parts connect properly like that. And then I just need to make the arm bend according to a mesh, which, again, should be feasible. Did you use Eevee Next? In this current version, in one of the latest alpha builds, Eevee Next exists, but it's, like, barely existent. Let me go and put this into a frame. Use frames to stay organized. As you can see, I am very much doing that. Sarcasm implied. I'm very bad at organizing all my stuff. But just to keep the blocks there, that makes it so that you can see things a lot easier at a glance. You don't need you. Kind of need you. But actually, do we? Ah, okay, that minimum is being used, but what if I just clamped? No, the clamping is kind of needed. Or I could just do that. But let me bring this back by a bit more. Wait, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. So let me go and reduce this a bit more so that, yeah, there we go. Would be nice if I could form these into a blade. Oh wait, I could do that with a shape key. So I could just, yeah, move the curves until they look like a blade, which may be a little difficult to do. But even I could, you know, put a simulation on this. Now, it wouldn't be the best simulation you've ever seen, but it may be good enough. We'll see. But what was I doing? Oh, right. I need to store a random value on the spline domain. That won't be too difficult to do, because we already have gradient 1 here, which I should label, but... no, gradient 1 is fine. So I just need to put another one here. This will be random on the spline domain, and I need this to be a random value, as the name implies. Let me just put this here as the kind of, you know, the data sections of it. Let me bring this over to here, bring this over to here, bring this back. You know, just keeping it at least a little organized. Now I'm just going to bring that into our shader for the, where's the particle? I don't need you in the scene anymore. Go and bring in random. Let's take a look at that. How does that look? It works quite nicely. So now I can add or multiply or do whatever I want to the gradients. Let me do essentially a linear light. Multiply just like that. Take a look at the output. There we go. So now I can affect this however much I want. It being even actually isn't that bad compared to the alternative. Let's set that to 10. And there's that. It could have like a pulsing energy effect. on the arm as well. Let me do that. So many things I could do, but maybe I don't want to do. Actually, let's have a noise texture. Again, I need to end the stream before it gets too long. Let me do that. I just want to add a multiplied version of the random so that I can get a random gradient per spline for this. There we go. That's like 100. And then I could throw this into there. Then I can animate it with the thing. The thing for the thing. So wait, actually, I'll have that, but I'll also have one for here. I'll multiply the two together. Just a regular multiply. Then I also need to... Let me split this so that, you know, no trees always get big. You're trying to do so much. So we can see that happening. I want it to be a little more varied. So we can see... Yeah, there we go. It'll still be kind of there. Let me also turn up the roughness. There we go. So now we can have an animated gradient. Blender is a great thing to do when you have time on your hands. I just got my wisdom teeth taken out, so I'll be doing a lot of it. Lol. Ah. When I got my wisdom teeth taken out, I don't think I did much. Well, not for too much information, but there was a lot of blood. So I wasn't doing much of anything. I was mostly just trying to exist at that point. But I wish you the best on your Blender journey after you got your wisdom teeth taken out. Hopefully it can numb the pain. Alright. Yep, there's the arm, looking very nice. So I just need to figure out the curve rolling to make it look better. Then put in an armature, which, hey, let me try the armature now. Because this is a mesh starting out. And then I convert it to a curve and all that. It's a good thing that I start out with the curve so that all the indices are in the right way. Well, let's make just the most basic armature you've ever seen. Because I just want to try and see how it fares. So let me do that, let me do that. Bring that over there. And I'll put in a wrist bone even though I just want an IK bone right here. Let me go, where's the relations? Let's go and keep that disconnected. And then go into the pose mode. Actually, is easy IK an option? Tool. Auto IK. Yep, that's there, okay. So, just for testing, I don't even need that. So let me go into edit mode and delete that. I forget that's an option. So let me go and... let me go and make sure the bones get selected. Control P with automatic weights. Okay, that hung for a second, so I was worried. Pose mode, please don't lag. Oh, it doesn't. There we go. So let's enable the geometry nodes after the fact. Pose mode. Let's take a look. Oh, it's crunching a little bit, but we can see that it does work. So there we go. So even the hand works. Even with the, yeah, that having a whale of a time. I'm actually surprised that it's kind of disconnecting. No, actually, that's to be expected. If I were to, say, geometry node editor, if I were to resample these it would even out everything. So resample curve to 100 would make it so that it's guaranteed to be even with the mesh deforming it. So here we can see, oh, that's cool. We can see each part of the chain moving independent. Oh, that is very cool. I need to try that with like all the fingers properly there. I'll do some more. I'll get the proper thing. Oh, that is really cool. Yeah, so it looks like I'll need to like redo the bone weights. Like I have to do it automatically. There's no way on earth I'm able to do this manually. Wow, that is amazing, seeing every single part contribute to... Like, I'm surprised the twisting looks super duper broken. I would think that it would be better than that here. And let me also turn off lock object mode so that I can switch between these two. Let's take a look at the interior part here. Yeah, like that's not too great. Why is it just a harsh cutoff? Definitely should not be that. Like, even here, it's super harsh. Yeah, no, it's just a snap, crackle, and pop. Oh, please don't tell me that's a result of the automatic weights, because I really wish that were better. Okay, let me go and try to, well, first, rest position. Select that, and then select that again, Control P. Envelope weights? What does that do? Let's give that a test. Pose mode. Oh yeah, let's put that... Oh my gosh. Okay, well that... let's go back to automatic weights. Again, I'll have to pull the arm from the rig that I have. Actually, I could do that right now. Human form. Okay, let's get this rig and just obliterate most of it. Edit mode. Okay, so let's just go and chop out a good majority of it. Delete bones. Uh-oh. Let's turn off the mirroring. You guys can't see this at the moment. Bones. There we go. Now we just have you here. Okay, this is from a running animation, so let me go and bring it into the scene. So there we go. There that is. I need to put it to the rest position. I forgot how to hide layers from the automatic weights to save it from that. Let's go here. Let's see, do I just, like, move it out of the way? Would that work? So I hope this doesn't crash, actually. Automatic weights. Now here it has 2 of these. More weights than are needed, but let's just move this back over to here. And turn on pose position. So here, let me go and scale the old animation up. From the run cycle, and make sure I have everything selected. Okay, one of them's locked. Some bones are hidden. Interesting. Wait, why is... yeah, all of these are selected now. Okay, maybe not that many times. Okay, let's go and turn back on the roll. What do we see? Do they move properly? They do. Wow, that's really bad. Because it's not like a manifold mesh. It just goes and freaks out. My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined. I thought that would be good. I thought that would work better. Huh. I thought that would work. I'm severely disappointed in this. Like, I could try envelope again, but we saw that that had horrible consequences last time. Let me go. Where? Bone. Where's the middle bone for this? Corrective smooth may be an option that can save us. Smooth corrective. Pin boundaries. Wow, pin boundaries doesn't even work. Huh. That's fun. Does that only smooth type length weight? Bind chords? Okay, let's give it a shot. Bind. There we go, and let's see if it works. Maybe I need to select the ends to make sure it doesn't affect those. Let's see. Like, it does look super elegant now because it's all smoothened out. Not quite as jagged and rough as the previous version. Alright, we're almost at 1 hour 30, which I do not want to go past that again. So I just need to... Actually, I can try out a few things. Do I have wiggle bones enabled on this thing? And let's make sure that is out the sim. Motion paths, bone groove. Oops. No, that's an add-on that'll just allow me to use essentially physics with this. So actually, let me delete this animation. I need to create some unique animations for this. Let me go and make sure all the bones are selected when I delete the old. Here. Actually, wait. Here, let's keep 2 of them. So that pose, and then I'll just have the physics apply for channels. Ah, that's why. Those bones do not exist anymore. There we go. Oh, there's some protected layers. No, that should be fine. Okay, I'll figure this out off stream. So we got the cable working, but we, you know, the armature doesn't like it. Everything just doesn't like this, having multiple things like that. So maybe I can make a mesh version, like, I don't know. Maybe, like, I use the UV maps to put lines down on the object, and then I just give it some depth, and that works, instead of filling up the entire volume. But then that'll... Yeah, no, that's not ideal. Like, this version is the most ideal. And let me also make it so that I can change the roll amounts from outside. There's the... Ah, there it is. So, boom. Kind of like that. Wait a second, why is it... Yeah, why is it not right? Oh, wait, that... No, that does need to be after. So why is it, why it no work? Let's plug in the curve normal. Alright. I will figure this out off stream, and you'll probably see this. Wait, why does that look much better? What? Oh, is that because it's... Since it deforms, the normal is recalculated. Yeah, that is... Okay. Well, that's a bit of a bummer that I can't use the... Aw. So it's really wanting me to use a live reference on this. And also, I should probably use the parameter to multiply this so that we get more, you know, a curve but not curl effect. It's very interesting. Alright, I'll figure this out. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.